This screencast will show you how to use the event system with Mudlet, and as an example, I'll show you how to trigger on GMCP events and IRE games as well. So firstly, what is the event system in Mudlet for? Using events will allow you to use a paradigm of system building that is easy to maintain, because if you'd like to restructure something, you would have to do less work, enables better interoperability between scripts, and it allows you to use an event-based way of programming if you know how to do that. There are two parts to using the event system. First, you have to register your event handler, and then secondly, if you'd like to raise your event, you need to raise it. So at first I'll show you how to register an event handler. So what you do at first is you go to the script section, alright, and you create a new script. Now, when you are registering an event handler, what happens is that you need to tell Mudlet firstly A, the event name that you're watching out for. You can use multiple names if you'd like. And B, the function that you'd like Mudlet to call if any of the events you're watching for happened. So you need to tell it to connect the two. How you do the first part, registering events, is you click on this little field that is called Add User-Defined Event Handler, and then we just add, for example, event A. You can press either this little plus sign or just press enter, and here you go. It goes into the registered event handlers list. So that's how we do part A, registering event handlers. Now part B, we need to tell Mudlet what function should it call after any of these events happens, and you do that by assigning the script name. So if we'd, for example, call a function gather, we'd write the name here, and we'd also optionally create the function gather here, or you can just anywhere else. And so here we go. We set up a function called gather, which if event A comes along, will be called. As an example, let's add in here echo hi, event A got called. So now whenever the event A comes along, this function will be called. Now that we registered this function, let's do the other part, actually call an event. To do that, you use the raise event function. So why don't we create a new alias, call it test, and we type in the raise event function, and the first argument to it is the event name that we'd like to call. For example, let's call event A. Oops. There you go. And now let's give it a test. Hey, it worked. So what happened here exactly? In our alias, we only use one function that's called raisEvent, and it raises event A. And our event handler right here for event A calls this function gather, which does work here. Now, why is that nice? Is to demonstrate to you why is it nice, we can add another function that will also listen on this event. So let's create our function, assign it to the event that we're listening for, and let's call it, I don't know, let's call it hello. Hello. Echo, hey there. Alright, so now we have two functions that are both listening on event A. Let's give it a test again. Wow, did you see that? Both of them got called. And what's so really nice about this is that my original alias was not changed. So we didn't have to do this in our alias. If we do it, it'll still do the same thing, but this means that if we'd like to add more functions, then we'd have to explicitly add them here, while with this method we only have to add it once. Alright, so that's how you do event handlers and event raising basics in Mudlet. Now the second part is, as an example, I'd like to show you how to use GMCP events. I won't explain what that is, I'll assume that you know already. Firstly, to view which GMCP events are coming in from the game, Mudlet allows you to do that by clicking on debug right here. It'll open the debug window, but we don't need that now. But what's important is that when we receive new events, Mudlet will display them right here for you. So for example, it says system message GMCP event. This is the event name. Came in display GMCP to see the full content, but we don't need to. What we're just interested in is the event name. So you can see that, for example, when we receive a prompt, we get two events, gmcp.char and gmcp.char.vitals. So why don't we, for a test, hook onto some event that happens when we go into a room, so we can automatically do things when we enter a room. So firstly, let's see which events happen when we enter a room. Let's move once, and let's see the usual char vitals, items list, and here's some interesting gmcp.room.info. That sounds relevant. So we copy that, go into our scripts. Let's delete this one. Let's change hello, not to use event A, but to use gmcp.room.info. Save that. So now what happens is that when gmcp.room.info comes, which comes on every room movement, our function will automatically get called. Let's give it a test. Hey, look, it worked. Just a moment, let's disable debug so it's not so spammy anymore. There we go. See? Now we're moving rooms, and automatically for us, we're getting a function called. So that's one of the nice things about using GMCP, is that you can trigger on things more easily. That, and also you can use information that's passed on to you, but that's not event related. So that'll be all for our screencast. Enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the Mudlet forums.